The Middle East has been a hotbed of tension for decades, but few rivalries are as complex and deep-rooted as the one between Iran and Israel. From a once cooperative relationship to becoming sworn enemies, their conflict today shapes the political, military, and ideological landscape of the region. But how did we get here? Let's unravel the history and the key factors fueling this strife. Before 1979, Iran and Israel had surprisingly good relations. Iran, under the Shah's rule, was one of the few Muslim-majority countries that cooperated with Israel. They shared common interests. Strategically, both were wary of Arab nationalism and the influence of the Soviet Union during the Cold War. Their cooperation extended to military and economic ties, including secret oil deals. But everything changed with the 1979 Islamic Revolution. The revolution in Iran brought Ayatollah Khomeini to power, and with him came a new ideology, one that opposed Israel's very existence. Khomeini's regime saw Israel as an illegitimate state, occupying lands sacred to Islam, and branded it as the Little Satan, with the U.S. being the Great Satan. Since then, Iran's leadership has been firmly committed to opposing Israel, both rhetorically and in action. One of the key ways Iran opposes Israel is through its support for armed groups like Hezbollah in Lebanon and Hamas in Gaza. These groups, which are hostile to Israel, have received financial, military, and political backing from Iran. For Iran, supporting these groups is a way of challenging Israel without engaging in direct warfare. For Israel, this network of Iranian-backed forces poses a serious security threat, particularly on its borders. Another major source of tension is Iran's nuclear program. Israel fears that a nuclear-armed Iran would be an existential threat. Although Iran claims its nuclear ambitions are peaceful, Israel and many Western nations believe that Iran is working towards developing nuclear weapons. Israel has taken several covert actions to slow down Iran's progress, including cyber attacks and assassinations of nuclear scientists. One of the most significant diplomatic efforts to contain Iran's nuclear ambitions was the 2015 nuclear deal, also known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, or JCPOA. Israel, however, strongly opposed this deal, believing it didn't do enough to prevent Iran from building a bomb. Beyond the nuclear issue, Iran and Israel are locked in a broader regional power struggle. Iran has been expanding its influence across the Middle East, particularly through alliances with Syria's Assad regime and Shia militias in Iraq, Yemen, and Lebanon. In response, Israel has conducted hundreds of airstrikes on Iranian targets in Syria to prevent them from transferring advanced weapons to Hezbollah or establishing a permanent military presence near Israel's borders. A key battleground in this conflict is Lebanon, where Iran-backed Hezbollah remains a powerful force. Hezbollah, which fought a war with Israel in 2006, continues to pose a significant threat, receiving ongoing support from Iran. For Israel, Hezbollah's rocket stockpile and its proximity to Israel's northern border are a major concern. This has led to a proxy war, where both Iran and Israel engage in indirect conflict through Hezbollah and other militant groups, without engaging in direct warfare. Geopolitically, Iran and Israel are part of opposing blocs. Israel is closely aligned with the United States and many Western nations, while Iran has built ties with countries like Russia and China. A significant diplomatic shift came with the Abraham Accords in 2020, where Israel normalized relations with some Arab states, including the UAE and Bahrain. This was seen as an effort to unite against Iran's growing influence in the region, further isolating Tehran diplomatically. In recent years, hostilities between Iran and Israel have escalated. Israel has carried out numerous airstrikes on Iranian targets in Syria, assassinated key Iranian figures, and launched cyber attacks, while Iran has supported proxy attacks against Israeli interests globally. Perhaps the most high-profile incident occurred in 2020, when Mohsen Fakhrizadeh, Iran's top nuclear scientist, was assassinated in an operation widely attributed to Israel. Both nations are deeply entrenched in this shadow war, a mixture of covert operations, sabotage, and cyber warfare. While much of the conflict is political and strategic, religion also plays a significant role. Iran's regime, based on Shia Islamic principles, frames its opposition to Israel in religious terms. The Palestinian cause is central to Iran's stance, with the regime viewing it as a moral duty to oppose Israel's occupation of what they consider sacred land. On the other hand, Israel as a Jewish state ties its national identity to the land, adding another layer of complexity to the conflict. The strife between Iran and Israel is deeply rooted in history, ideology, and geopolitical rivalry. As long as Iran continues to support armed groups hostile to Israel, pursue its regional ambitions, and advance its nuclear program, and as Israel responds with military actions and international alliances to protect its security, this conflict is likely to continue shaping the Middle East for years to come. Understanding this rivalry is key to grasping the broader tensions and challenges in the region. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth explorations of key global conflicts and issues. Until next time, stay informed and stay curious.